Hello, I'm Lacey Lavelle and welcome back to my channel. I'm gonna do one more video before I go to sleep because this is what I originally wanted to talk about, but I decided that I wanted to, which it should have been my first video. Like my last video should have been my first video. The last video was a video on why I decided to do a YouTube channel. That should have been the first video, but that's neither here nor there. Someone asked me to do that video, so I wanted to do that and get that out of the way in case any of you were wondering about that. But with tonight being, well, it's actually Valentine's Day already. So with Valentine's Day being today, I know a lot of people, single people or people that are in a relationship but are single. I know a lot of people go through like depression or sadness around this time, and because our focus is on maybe the lack of a partner or not getting what you want possibly from that partner. But I wanted to talk more today about self, because I did state in other videos that my focus now is self and, you know, my whole journey to self. So, I mean, it may be for you, but this is probably more so for me. And this morning, in my thoughts, in my journal, I'm writing, and one of the first things that that came to me was anger, bitterness, doubt, and worry stifles creativity and productivity. When you're not in a good space, emotionally, mentally, physically, and all of those other things, but more so mentally, perception-wise, it makes it hard for you to get into a productive space, a space where you can actually get things done, where you can actually produce. It's hard to get into a good space. As I said, it stifles creativity. I noticed that I get so much more done when I let go of the things that bother me. Okay, that was the first thought that came to me, and then the next thought that came to me, because of around the time of year that we're in, is like no one else is responsible for your happiness except you. You can't rely on anyone else to make you happy. It's no one else's responsibility to make or keep you happy. That's a major key. That's like a big lesson. If your happiness depends on whether or not someone else is like making you happy, you're in bad shape, because people are fickle. Today, they'll love up on you, and tomorrow they'll act like they don't know you. So if that's where your happiness lies, you need to work on that today. So that was another thing that I was focused on and that I was thinking about, because a lot of times we get caught up in people not behaving the way we want them to behave, and they're not doing what we want them to do to make us feel loved. And it's like, granted, you don't want no one to mistreat you. No one deserves to be mistreated. However, it's like, okay, so because you're not doing what I think you need to do in regards to me, I'm gonna be unhappy? I'm not. I don't have to allow it, but I also don't have to be moved by it either. So that's one thing that I want you to take with you. Nobody else is responsible for your own happiness but you. And nobody has the power to hurt you, to upset you, to take your joy, except if you give it to them. And that's a lot of power to give somebody. If your joy and your peace and your sanity, if it all comes from the outside, you're in trouble. Situations change constantly. Things change constantly. I always tell my son, and I don't always, I doubt it if he really gets it, but today when I dropped him off at school, he was like, not having a good morning. And I asked him, I was like, are you not happy? And he just, looked at me, and I was like, where does your happiness come from? And he touched my heart. Because that's where your happiness comes from. That's where it comes from. It comes from within. So you may upset me today, but that doesn't shake my peace. You may do something to unnerve me, but that's not gonna change the fact that I'm a happy person overall. So let that be a nugget, a daily nugget. No matter what my circumstances say, nothing has the power to take my joy, take my peace, take my happiness, except I allow it. That's a big responsibility to take on, to be able to say, you know what, today wasn't a good day, but I allowed today not to be a good day. I could have turned it around, but I didn't. Tomorrow's going to be a better day. The other thing that I was focused on today is we get so caught up in how people treat us, how people view us, people's perception of us. I know I've been there, and sometimes I still find myself doing it. Like, you want to know what people think of you and how they view you, and why do you treat me the way that you do? And one thing that I'm coming to terms with is that when people, first of all, people do what you allow them to do. That's number one. Number two, when people mistreat you, the best way that I can put it is that hurt people. And sad people make people sad. You can only deal with another person based on where you are. You get what I'm saying? So a lot of times we have to make it like a daily routine to empty out all the garbage, all the lies, all the disrespect, all of the negative talk that people have spoken into you, spoken over you. It's like daily, and that kind of stuff don't happen overnight, especially if you've been verbally abused for a lot of your life or physically abused for a lot of your life. Your worth is not determined by what someone thinks of you or how someone feels about you. And you have to make your mind up that all of those things are lies. And maybe if all of them are not lies, but you don't like what's being said about you, you have the power to change it. Every morning, it has to become a part of your routine to shake off that mess that's been keeping you down and that's been keeping you back and that's been stifling your growth. And you're worth it. You doing that work, you getting up 15 minutes before maybe your children get up, or you getting up 10 minutes before that alarm clock goes off just to get up and state affirmations in the mirror, so that you can talk yourself out of the rut that people may have talked you into. And people will speak lies to you, and you'll begin to believe it sometime. If it's spoken to you enough, you'll believe it. So for every time somebody said that you're not going to be something, you need to get up and speak, I'm a success. I'm a success. I'm strong. I'm powerful. I'm intelligent. I'm smart. And my life is constantly changing and going in a path in which I want it to go. Nothing but good comes out of my life. No matter how bad it may look, you got to speak life over yourself. You have to speak life over yourself. I don't care. You may have been called all kind of sluts and hoes, and you may have not even been out there. I've been there before. You may have not even been out there. You may have not even done the things that people said you have done, but because it's been spoken to you and over you by somebody that's hurt, by somebody that's been verbally abused themselves, by somebody that don't know how to treat people because people didn't know how to treat them. For every lie that has been told to you, you got to stand up and you got to be like, that's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. You got to speak life into yourself daily. Every day. It's like I find myself getting up and I have to, my grandmother always say, you're snared by the words of your mouth. And every day I got to get up and I got to tell myself, it's like, Lacey, you can do this. You made it through yesterday, you'll make it through today. Yesterday was a good day, but today is going to be a great day. It's like, I have to be my motivator, my own motivator. And I used to hear this in church all the time. Who motivates the motivator? The motivator motivates the motivator. You have to be your hype man. You have to be the one to get up and say, I'm going to make it. If I don't do it, who going to do it? You know, the focus now for me has become, I had to refocus my focus back to me. Because if this self journey is supposed to be drawing me closer to self and drawing me closer to God, I gotta keep my eyes off of those that are around me and bring the focus back to me. And sometimes when you focus on you, you see things about you that are not pretty. Because we're not perfect. And it's okay to not be perfect. We're here to do a work. And when you begin to work on you, I mean, there's no work that's more important than the work that you do on yourself. And it's like, once we get to a place where we take responsibility for where we are or where we were, and we're ready to do the work to get to where we want to be, life begins. It's new life in that. You die to your old you and you become alive to the possibilities of what's to come. And then the other thing was, stop waiting on validation. I probably said this already, but this is just so, outstanding to me. Stop waiting on validation or permission to be great. Why are you waiting for somebody to validate you? I remember waiting, like, if I did something that I felt really great about, it was like, I just wanted somebody to say, I'm proud of you. And though that's good to hear, is that what you're doing it for? Is that what you're doing it for? Or are you doing it to hear the ultimate well done? All you need is a little bit of faith. And of course, the Bible says if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you can move mountains. And it's not even just faith in God, but you got to have faith in yourself as well. You got to have faith in yourself as well. There's so much power in you. There's so much power. There's so much life in you. People that are 70 and 75 and 80, some of them have still have yet to see the fullness of what their life is to be. It's never too late to start the work. It's never too late to start the work. And you don't need anybody's validation. You don't need anybody's permission. All you need is to turn to you and look to you